Shalom, shalom. This your Mock with the Great Millstone Cleveland branch. I want to start off by giving all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Krakodash. Double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Shalom to the elect. And just getting right into it, I just wanted to do this quick walk and talk. And the title of this lesson is this is why you don't rule in righteousness. You know, this is why you don't establish a kingdom upon unrighteousness. That's what I meant to say. You know what I'm saying? Because as you see, Esau, his kingdom is great. You know what I'm saying? His empire is great. But look, he got a lot of loopholes and things, you know what I'm saying? He got a lot of imperfections, within this man's kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And it's all due to him ruling unlawfully. You know, all of our forefathers, you know what I'm saying, they ruled, you know what I'm saying, for a portion of time, you know, and then, you know, the next power came up. But if you notice something about our forefathers, if you notice something about the Israelites ruling, you know what I'm saying, they all the Lord was always with them until they start doing something that was wicked. That's just on a simpler form. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's on that's a more righteous form of that example. When you had our people, you know what I'm saying, in power, Hezekiah, you know what I'm saying, King David, King Solomon, you know what I'm saying, Saul, and other Israelite rulers that was ruling during the ancient times. But the Lord always showed examples of what not to do. You know what I'm saying? For example, when King David was ruling, but then he started numbering the people of Israel. And then that's when the prophet Gad came to him and he said, you're either going to receive pestilence or famine in the land, or etc. Right? And Gad, you know, he was humble, you know what I'm saying, because he knew that he went off, you know what I'm saying. But, you know, the Lord said not to do a census on a people. You know, that's unlawful because, you know, you're not supposed to number the people of Israel. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to number the people because that's the Lord. That's up to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But here it is. Fast forward to today, and Esau's kingdom is established upon a census. You know what I'm saying? Counting, he was counting his slaves. You know what I'm saying? You know, like cattle. That's just how he get down. That's on the foundation of his kingdom. So what more judgment is he gonna get? You know what I'm saying? King David was judged, but he came down to humility when he was doing that. You know what I'm saying? But look at Esau. You know what I'm saying? He's so proud. That's just a part of his way of life. You know what I'm saying? That's just how he get down. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally judgment written on the foundation of this man's empire. It go back to how Yahweh Shai was talking about talk about that parable in the scriptures, talking about dealing with building, you know what I'm saying, your house upon a rock. You know, you build your house upon a rock and it rain, you know what I'm saying, the rain ain't gonna knock over a rock. But you build your house upon the sand, like you see this man doing, Esau, and that rain is gonna, you know what I'm saying, water that sand right on down. You know what I'm saying? And before you know it, you know, you just wasted your time, like the scriptures say. I think that Jeremiah 51 or 52, where it talked about how they worked in vain. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's gonna knock all this stuff down. He's gonna destroy all of these works, to the point that these people gonna come to the realization that they worked in vain, because they're gonna be getting destroyed in the midst of everything getting destroyed. So everything that they spent their life's work on, what? It's gonna be for naught. You know? This is why you don't build a kingdom upon wickedness. For one, the Lord showed plenty of examples of why you don't do wickedness. Because, like the scriptures say in Romans the 6th chapter, in verse 23, the wages of sin is death. You know what I'm saying? So when you commit sin, you paying for it with death. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a way to live. You know what I'm saying? You want to live by righteousness. Because every sin that you commit, it's a price. Everything that you do is a price. And the price of doing wickedness is death. And that's why you're going to see Esau get the punishment that he's going to get. Because, you know, he lived by death. And he glorified in death. And he encouraged others to do the same. You know what I'm saying? Like when you had the abomination of desolation started. When, you know what I'm saying, Antiochus Epiphanes was, you know, messing with the temple. You know what I'm saying? And encouraging Israelites, you know what I'm saying, to do wickedness. You know what I'm saying? You know, everything's going to be paid for. Of course, we know it's all prophecy. The Lord's going to put the spirit on a man to do what he does. You know what I'm saying? But that's just an example. You know what I'm saying? You know, defiling the temple. It was many things that was done during that time that was wicked. He was bringing pigs in the midst of the temple. You know what I'm saying? And he was teaching. You know, of course, you know, it's rebels. So the scripture talk about rebels, the rebels of the nation of Israel. And Daniel, that's either Daniel 8 or Daniel 11. But, you know, he encouraged the rebels of the nation of Israel, those that's rebellious. You know what I'm saying? Just like you see today, you got a lot of rebellious Israelites that's on this man's side. You know what I'm saying? But like the scripture say in the book of Proverbs, I think that's the 8th chapter or the 9th. Though hand join in hand with the wicked, yet shall the wicked not go unpunished. You know what I'm saying? So just because these wicked rebellious Israelites is joining hand, you know what I'm saying, with Esau, with his philosophy, you know what I'm saying, with his way of life, Esau's still gonna go unpunished. So guess what's gonna happen? They gonna end up getting the same punishment, receiving the same judgment. This is the devil. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord is gonna be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? The Lord he's gonna be justified. His men gonna be justified, and he's gonna be satisfied when he brings destruction. You know what I'm saying? When that destruction, because Esau, his wickedness has reached up to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Since the Lord has been allowing him to rule in wickedness, he think that the Lord is like himself, man. You know what I'm saying? He think he can just get away with it. You know, the scriptures say that in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8 and verse 11, and say, since judgment is not executed speedily, you know what I'm saying? It's in the hearts of men to do wicked. You know what I'm saying? Roughly paraphrasing. The Lord ain't gonna judge. He might not judge tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? He might not judge the day after tomorrow. The time is up to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? The Lord knows when he's gonna you know what I'm saying, do judgment. You know. But guess what? When it comes, it's gonna come. The scripture say, though it tarry, wait for it. You know. And this is why you don't establish a kingdom upon wickedness, because eventually that judgment is gonna come, even whether it tarry or not. When it come, it come. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you get into them scriptures, there's a lot of scriptures that the pastor churches don't want to deal with because they're so controversial. You know what I'm saying? The scripture talking about, you know what I'm saying, the judgment of Edom, the judgment of Moab, the judgment of Ammon, the Japanese, the judgment of Magog, the Russians. You know what I'm saying? You know, don't nobody want to hear their judgment. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we coming out to your scriptures and we telling you what's finna happen. You know, but these people just, you know, they sleep. You know, well, y'all been said that was gonna happen. You know, so I'm gonna just keep eating pork and shrimp. You know what I'm saying? And lobster. And everything gonna be alright, like Master said. you know. But, you know, every day, every time you watch the news, it's telling you something negative, you know what I'm saying, that's happening to this kingdom. It's telling you a plague that's happening to this kingdom. Just because there's negative stuff going on don't mean, you know what I'm saying, the Lord ain't dealing. The Lord is just displeased with, you know, this kingdom. The scriptures say his eyes are upon the sinful kingdom. You know what I'm saying? That's going for the nation of Israel. Which you could say, you know, that he's looking upon, you know, this wickedness, because this is where a lot of Israelites is at. You know what I'm saying? Doing the uttermost wickedness. You know what I'm saying? You know, the scriptures talk about that, you know, because our people becoming more wicked than the heathen, man. And once again, quoting that scripture, though hand joined in hand, yet shall the wicked not go unpunished. You know, so I can really, you know, sit here and go over every wicked thing that this devil was doing. You know what I'm saying? The oppression of the poor. You know, causing our people to go fatherless, being a wicked shepherd amongst our people. You know, he ain't just gonna put you in captivity. He gonna Hellenize you. You know, like he did during the Greek Empire. You know, that Hellenization. You know, blaspheming the Lord. You know what I'm saying, with these false idols, man. You know what I'm saying, speaking as if the Lord ain't watching. You know, and Yahweh is going to allow his son Yahweh Shah to get his revenge while at the same time avenging his nation, man. I mean, avenging the elect, avenging his nation through the elect. You know, through delivering the elect and bringing destruction upon, you know what I'm saying, these wicked places. Because it's not just going to be America that's going to receive, you know what I'm saying, some form of arrows from the Lord. The Lord going to be shooting arrows in other different places upon the face of the earth. But going back to the point, Esau going to pay for the blood. All of these heathen, they're going to pay for the blood that they done to the nation of Israel. That's in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. I think that's around like verse 23, where it say, I'm thinking about that scripture that say, then shall the heathen know that the nation of Israel went into captivity for their disobedience. The Lord he punishes, you know what I'm saying, these nations. I mean, he punishes his people using these nations. I'm going back to the examples that we had with our forefathers, like our once the Lord was by the he let us take down the walls of Jericho, you know what I'm saying, and get that land, you know, and then it was and we continue. We start, you know, the Lord was with the nation of Israel. We continue conquering, you know what I'm saying, all throughout the land, you know, starting with Jericho. But guess what? The nation of Israel kept going off. All right. So as the nation of Israel kept going off, then what the Lord kept doing, what the Lord was doing, he was making some of the heathen stay in the land. So as Jacob was getting their lands, starting with the warrior tribes, Reuben, Gad, and half of the tribe of Manasseh, they got their land first, and it was still people in the midst of everybody that was getting their lands. I'm not sure if Gad, Reuben, and half of the tribe of Manasseh, I gotta go back and read that, but I'm not sure if they had heathen nations that was like pretty much stuck in their land, serving servitude under the Israelites. But I know for the rest of the people, for example, Benjamin, he had, I forget what heathen that didn't fully get driven out of the land. But they was just pretty much sitting there serving servitude. You know what I'm saying? Other tribes like Simeon, if I'm not mistaken, and other tribes that was getting land during that time, the Lord wasn't allowing our people to fully drive them out. You know what I'm saying? To the point to where it's like, all right, well, y'all just gonna stay here, just work as our slaves, basically. You know what I'm saying? But look at the balance though, because it's like, y'all not fully serving me. Like, you know what I'm saying? The nation of Israel is the Lord's wife. So the Lord looking like, y'all not fully serving me. So I'm not gonna fully drive them out of y'all land. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? You know, the Lord did that with a good purpose, because guess what? Over time, not only, you know what I'm saying, did Jake not drive them out of the land, but Jake started following their gods. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look now. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just like, you know, so that's how the Lord operate. You know what I'm saying? You do something that's displeasing to the Lord, and the Lord is he's gonna balance it out. The scriptures say that in the book of Proverbs. Lucky, got a little distracted, but the scriptures say a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. So there you go, man. You know what I'm saying? You wanna however you want it. It's however you want it with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is gonna meet you back with that exact judgment. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh B'Shem Shah is not penalized by how you act, because it's gonna get judged based off of how you act. That's why the righteous is gonna be rewarded, because they walking in righteous judgment. You know what I'm saying? But the wicked, they gonna be rewarded also, but they gonna be rewarded in wickedness, because they living based off of those type of acts, man. You know? So Lord's willing, this was edifying to an elect member. I'm gonna close by giving our honor, praise, glory to Yahweh, by Shem Shah, by Shem Kakodash, Shalom, Khan Charlotte.